Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Alex's Adventures, and in this episode of Alex's Adventures, we'll be taking an adventure checking out Downtown Kennewick here in the state of Washington. That is right, in this episode of Alex's Adventures, we'll be taking an adventure checking out Downtown Kennewick. So we will begin our adventure on Kennewick Avenue. We are on the eastern part of downtown Kennewick. This downtown isn't as big as your typical major city, but the city of Kennewick is part of the Tri-Cities area. The other two cities are Richland and Pasco. So Richland, Pasco, and Kennewick are part of the Tri-Cities area here in central Washington. That is where we are located here in the state of Washington at the Pacific Northwest of the United States. So here we have several, we have this food truck here, several eating establishments. This is in the morning area, pretty quiet downtown for this morning. And to start off, we are about to talk about the history of this city, part of the Tri-City area here in central Washington. So here's one of the retail store, one of the historic buildings that is located here in downtown Kennewick. Here we have several busts and statues. And yeah, so you get a sense of history here. And the history of downtown Kennewick is that long before the modern city existed, the area was a significant gathering place for the tribes, valued for its mild winter climate, a characteristic that later earned the name Kennewick, or that translates to winter paradise or grassy place. So when you think about the Pacific Northwest, you think about trees and a cooler climate, that is. But since we are basically in central Washington, it's more of a dry, arid area in this part of the state of Washington. So, modern downtown Kennewick began in the 1880s as a railroad construction camp for the Northern Pacific Railway, where irrigation infrastructure was established in the early 1900s. The wasteland of the high desert was transformed into a fertile oasis. Suddenly it was the California of the Northwest, with marketing materials promising 300 days of sunshine to lure settlers from the Midwest to work in the orchards and vineyards. So this is also known as the grape juice capital. By 1906, the city's identity was tied to agriculture. The Church Grape Juice Company established its headquarters and bottling works in Kennewick, creating what was likely the largest private Concord vineyard in the country. So here is some more history about downtown Kennewick that you can find out that yourself. Some of the buildings that we walked through still exist today. And we're about to view some more buildings right there. So here's the B.J. Murphy building, known as the Roxy Theater. Pretty interesting factoid here, and really interesting to be in this part of the country, in this particular part of the state of Washington. Never thought I'd see myself in the Tri-Cities area here in central Washington. And this is located along the Columbia River, which we'll be taking a look at soon. And here's the Stag Saloon, and here's the Columbia Pharmacy. So historic establishments here in downtown Kennewick. So you can read all the history for yourself in this part of downtown. So we went from here to this historic building. This is the saloon that was mentioned in the placard that we just looked at right now. Such a significant history and structure that has many stories inside that historic building. And we are along the railroad tracks, and as it mentioned, this was one of those railroad settlements where the railroad was being built before the Pacific Northwest. And yeah, so this town, down Kennewick, grew once World War II and the subsequent Cold War era dramatically changed the scale of the region. We are approximately close to the Hanford Engineer Works, which is a secret city for the Manhattan Project that brought thousands of workers to the area, causing the population to explode from just 2,000 to 10,000 by 1950. Downtown shifted from a poor agriculture hub to a center for broader retail services and industrial support to sustain the rapidly growing Tri-Cities region. So downtown today has undergone a renaissance, pivoting from its industrial roots to becoming a designated creative arts district. So here's one of the murals, Kennewick, Washington Historic Railroad, and I really like this store. This is the Tri-Cities Model Railroaders. So we are here early in the morning, and I don't think this is open, but pretty interesting if you find yourself in Kennewick, Washington, and if you're a huge scaled model fan like myself, this is a great place to check it out. All aboard model railroad display. So yeah, so you have the hardware store, and here's the same one of the same buildings that still exists today that was mentioned on that placard that we looked at earlier. And yeah, so here we have the White's Finished Furniture Store, and here we are on the main intersection, and this street leads you to the public market, which we are about to look at. So here's the entrance to the public market. Unfortunately, being here on the public market is only open on a certain day of the week. And here's one of the landmarks of the city, the Kennewick Cable Bridge. So here's a closer view of Kennewick's Cable Bridge, along with Clover Island in the background. Clover Island is one of many landmarks that you should check out. But this cable bridge serves as a vital infrastructure piece that crosses the Columbia River, connects the Tri-City area. I believe I crossed that bridge from the airport here. Here's a display piece for Kennewick's bridges. So it's just more than a bridge. These bridges serve a vital part of the Tri-City area. So pretty interesting thing to check out and read more about it. And there you have one of the bridges here in Kennewick that crosses the Columbia River here in central Washington. So that will do it for this episode of Alex's Adventures. If you like this video, please give this video a super huge thumbs up. Comment in the comment section below what you think about this place. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Be checking out other YouTube content that's on this channel. And thank you for watching Alex's Adventures. And I will definitely see you on next one.